Yeah, hey, I'm Jason Botchford here with Tony Gallagher. Or is that Bill Daly?
I've grown hair. Yes, it's Bill.
It's possible. And I
And
would, of course, be Gary Bettman, except a little less angry.
A little lighter in the wallet.
That's definitely lighter in the wallet.
And you don't even know Jeremy Jacobs.
I think that would be a good thing for the NHL,
Yeah,
actually.
but not
a
for
commissioner,
you. Not
that's
for you.
true.
Yeah.
Commissioner who
determines
did
your
know
compensation,
Jeremy
remember?
Jacobs. And if you haven't got it by now, what we're trying to do here is figure out what would happen, Tony, if the Vancouver province was all of a sudden the commissioner or the commissioner's office of the NHL. If it was here in Vancouver,
Sponsorships would immediately fail, would they not? They'd flee.
and the two of us were in charge. We were allowed to do basically whatever we wanted to do. And I know exactly, actually, where we're going to start.
We're starting with the low-hanging fruit.
I know the anchor that is hanging this league down and has been hanging it down for a long time. The biggest problem in the NHL, the ongoing problem in the NHL, something that you and I have talked about ad nauseum over the years, and that, of course, is the officiating. There is nothing that has more impact on the game of hockey than the officiating does. All you have to do is go back to the second last lockout, and coming out of that, when they actually did start calling the rules, and how glorious it was for a brief window in time, how fun the game was again. And I'm wondering, how do we get back there? Somewhere along the line, and a lot of people point to that January 15th game against Boston, the Vancouver Canucks and the Boston Bruins a couple of years ago, and the league was never the same after that. We kind of reverted back to the 1990s. I want fun hockey. I want exciting hockey. I want end-to-end hockey, Tony. And with the officials, us as commissioners, how can we get it?
Well, that's a very good question. I love the tweet at the last draft by Bruce Dowbiggin, who said that all the incoming players joining the NHL on their draft day should come down from the stands, and upon reaching the floor at the draft should immediately be punched in the face by Milan Lucic, because that's exactly what's going to happen to them the moment they get into the NHL. So they may as well start early at what they'll be facing. And what's happened here is that the officials' natural inclination is to go back in all crucial games and swallow the whistle.
That's
Why?
Right.
They always want the players to decide the game, not us.
Yeah.
Oh no, not us. We're just the officials. We don't want to impact the game.
Right.
By doing this, by taking this, of course, they impact it enormously. They turn the Milan Lucic's of the world loose. They're able to tyrannize or punch in the face the Sedins at will, or whatever the particular issue is. Hook, hold, clutch, grab. You know the drill, and we get the hockey we like. And the moment they do call it tight, you have Don Cherry raving on Hockey Night in Canada to the contrary, wanting it to go back to the punch in the face. And
That's right.
They have to determine whether they want a speed game or whether they want
the speed game. So
what
can we do to get it?
Well, the first thing you do
is
is you have a little capital expenditure. What do? You widen the rink. Do you widen it to European standards? Widen it to the full 100 feet of European standards? No, I'm not advocating that. I'm suggesting you give 10 more feet to the width of the rink. That just gives the finesse player a little bit more room. Lets the smaller guy with great speed have a little bit better chance to survive against the bigger, tougher players. What they would lose in taking out seats would be regained in injury costs over 5 years. All you need to do is add that extra 10 feet, and while you're doing it, make the capacity there for adding another 10 feet for when everyone is the size of Eric Lindros, and that's where the game is going.
Yeah, I think that the problem is that the NHL rink has been 200 by 85 forever. I mean, we're talking back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, when the average NHL player was 5'9", looks nothing like the player does today. I think you're right. I don't think you have to go right to the European size rink, which is 200 by 100, but there's some equation in the middle there that's going to work. whether it's 200 by 90, 200 by 93, whatever it is. You find out that we'll find out exactly how much we can widen it to get, and every foot that you widen it by will make, I think, a fairly significant difference in the way that the game looks and the way the game is played. And I think that this has to be a top priority for our office.
You know,
because
we need to
it's
do
just
go
it's
further.
way too small. It's crazy that this league is playing on the same rink that it did 60 years ago.
I know.